Welcome to another Ask the Excellent segment with Optelec and Enhanced Vision. And today I am joined by Steve Saunders of East Sussex Vision Support. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Ben. Good to see you.
And you. So it was a bit of a tongue twister for me to get your new name right. So that's probably a good starting point if you want to introduce the association.
Yeah, well, we did a name change, literally has just been given the okay by the Charity Commission. And we really stepped going with the new name on the 10th of May. East Sussex Vision Support, because we've had so many connotations with the use of blind and partially sighted people, and it doesn't necessarily always reach the groups of people that we want to reach. So the idea was, the association's 100 years old this year. We had our anniversary back in March, and it was really one of those things that we thought we would actually update and rebrand everything so that we were actually of today rather than of the past. And that's why we went for the name East Sussex Vision Support, because we're here to support anyone who's got a vision impairment.
Lovely. And as we discussed with the name, you're based in East Sussex, and I've also believed that you've moved to a slightly new location upon sort of reopening your doors to those members that you support. Absolutely.
We moved here at the beginning of March. It was my second week in March. Much better premises than where we were before. We've got a dedicated aids and equipment resource room. So hopefully when we get the doors open properly again and clients coming back in, we've got all of the bits of equipment there for people to come in and try and get a hands-on experience with, which is the really important side of doing this job.
So with regards to your society, Steve, you look after the county of East Sussex. So you sort of reach all corners of the county, and sort of how many members do you have?
We've got at the moment we've got about 1,700 members on the books, but there is the possibility, we know for a fact, of around about 6,000 that could be potential members. And that's one of the hardest things that we've found over the years, is actually getting people to come to us. So hopefully the name change is going to make a difference to that, because they'll actually feel that it's not just for people who've been registered.
So it opens up to a wider demographic of those with varying sight conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we're starting to sort of get back to a little bit more normality, you discussed that you've opened your doors to your members there in Hailsham, and are you looking to sort of have more face-to-face events throughout the year?
Yes, as the restrictions ease, then we're hoping to get our outreach bus out on the road again, so that we can reach some of the harder to get to places around the county. Being a rural county, there are a lot of smaller villages with bad transport links. So the idea with the outreach bus is to not only go out and educate people, but also to help people who can't get into us.
Brilliant. So do you have sort of clubs and events that you run on a regular basis from the society there?
Yeah, we've got around the county there are about 14 social groups that actually meet on a regular basis, and they are literally just beginning to think about getting up and running again. Some of them range from the simple, straightforward go and have tea and a chat with other members who've got same and similar interests and problems and that sort of thing. But we've also got a theatre group that go out and go to the local theatre. So once the theatres start opening up again, that will start again. We've got a dedicated group in Brighton and Hove, which is for people with both dual sensory impairment, so deaf, blind group. We have a sound tennis group that is working in East Sussex, and they've been really doing very, very well over the years, and they just got back again, so that they can actually get out and do things. We have, hopefully, our bowls club will start up again fairly soon. And then we've got, you know, a more active group which meet in Brighton and Hove, which do a lot of their stuff at the moment on WhatsApp. So, you know, modern technology is actually making a big difference to these groups. And during the COVID restrictions and the lockdown, you know, all of our social groups have been, you know, the members have been kept in touch with, you know, by phone calls from, you know, the volunteers who actually help run the social groups. So we've stayed in touch all the way through with our members, which has been great.
And like a lot of organisations and charities, volunteers are important to you.
Absolutely, we couldn't run without volunteers. Yeah, and it's been frustrating for them that they haven't been able to go and do the things that they enjoy doing, and it's been frustrating for us that we haven't been able to, you know, get them involved as much as we'd like to. You know, we've been open all the way through, and we've dealt with you know, clients' problems all the way through since the first lockdown, mainly over the telephone. But one of our workers has been going out and about and doing, you know, full PPE visits for those that really need that one-to-one, you know, support. So we've been very lucky that we've been able to carry on like that.
So that's an invaluable service for your members, but it just proves that link with the volunteers, that, you know, it's an invaluable source of extra, you know, manpower and sort of extra help and feet on the ground there.
Well, it's one of those things that without the volunteers it's being a rural area, it's so difficult to get to. So having volunteers in the areas, you know, that are so widely spread, you know, makes a huge difference. And of course, you know, they live in the towns and the villages where, you know, our clients and members live. So they know them, you know, probably better than we do at HQ a lot of the time.
So it just provides that personal touch then of you know, neighbours, or certainly those you know, looking after others within their local community.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's yeah, we've had volunteers. A few years ago, we had a presentation to a lot of our volunteers that had been with us for 25 years plus. Yeah, so it's an ongoing commitment that they've actually made to us, which is incredible.
So, with regards to your move to the new premises, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but potentially a little bit more accessible because of your new location.
It should be, yeah. Hopefully, you know, we're closer to main car parks, and we've also, you know, closer to the main bus routes. Yeah, rural areas, you know, the transport links aren't always good, so you have to look at, you know, what you can actually use that is going to make it easier for your members to actually get to you. And, you know, as I say, moving location is definitely going to make a difference. But also, it's that whole thing about, you know, have it with the outreach bus, being able to get out to them if they can't get to you.
So I wonder if we can talk a little bit about your site condition, Steve, and also sort of things that you use on a day-to-day basis to help you out and sort of get that help you do the fantastic role you do with the charity.
Yeah, I lost my sight when I was 16 years old. I was a passenger in a car, and it was long before safety glass in cars, and it was the glass from the windscreen that came back and severed the optic nerves. So from the age of 16, I've been totally blind, no sight whatsoever, and I learned a lot of things. Very steep learning curve, and it's been one of those things that, you know, you hope that, you know, the experience that you've gained, you can actually help pass on, you know, some of the hints and the tips that you can make a difference to people's lives.
That sort of real invaluable and personal recommendation for some products for some of your clients there.
Well, it's one of the things that East Sussex Vision Support have always tried to do, is to employ people or have people as volunteers that have got sight impairments, because that way we can actually speak with experience about the products that are out there on the market, that are going to be there for people to use. So having no sight at all, I use sort of like screen readers and that sort of thing. So anything that's got voice adaptations to it is really useful for me. But I've got a colleague in the office who's partially sighted, so she uses screen magnification and all of that side of things. So we get a new product come out, we're fairly well placed to actually look at it and see what we actually think about it, see what works, what doesn't work, and then you can recommend those items with that personal experience to your members.
Brilliant. So offering that personal recommendation to your end users, and as you said, in your new centre, you've got a full-on resource centre now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we've got you're going right the way through from text-to-speech scanners through desktop CCTVs, electronic magnifiers of small hand magnifiers. We've got ordinary magnifiers, ranges of colour filters, clocks, watches, you name it, we've got it. And the idea is that people can come in and actually try the things out, because seeing something in a catalogue or being told that something is okay isn't the same as actually getting that hands-on experience with it.
Absolutely. So sometimes people just need that hands-on experience they might think from a catalogue that something is going to be useful for them, but once they actually pick that up, try it out, it's possibly not the solution, then you're on hand to guide them accordingly.
Yeah, it's with simple things as well, like lighting. Actually be able to just try the light and see whether it actually does make a difference to them. And will it come down low enough so that they can actually use it in the chair that they want to sit in, and that sort of thing. So, just giving people the option to try things out and see whether it is right for them. And if necessary, one of the other things that we do is let people take the thing home and try it at home. Because again, the home environment is so different to, our resource.
Yeah, so certainly in coming from a practice-based background with opticians, very, very good lighting in a retail or setting, but in our home, our lighting setup can be very different to what we've got there.
Yeah, and that is an important side of things, is to actually let people take the items, try them in the home environment, see whether they work for them in that area. Because, as you say, lighting can be so different, but also, it's when you're actually in a resource room, trying things out, you're not as relaxed, and you're not, going to give it the full trial that you would do at home.
That's it. You kind of want it to do possibly more than it can do, but trying it at home, it'll be your real life setup then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking through your bank statements. It's all very well. We can provide newspapers and books and what have you for people to try, magnifiers and that sort of thing on, or text-to-speech scanners. But if you've actually got, you want to look at your bank statements, it's really important to actually try those out. And I think that's one of the important things about getting, people like yourself to go out and do the home visits, so that people can actually try the different pieces of equipment in their home and feel comfortable and confident that they've got an understanding of it, and that they've got the space to actually put the items as well, because that's an important area. So many people have downsized now as well, especially as they get older, they downsize, and space is a premium for a lot of people.
Yeah, so that's it. We sort of see more and more people from our point of view, downsizing from a desktop CCTV magnifier to an in-between size device, because space is a premium for them now.
Yeah, exactly that. And again, that's a really important thing, for our suppliers to, that will go out and do those home visits. I know we've used you several times, Ben, to go out and see our members, and it's having also the confidence in you and your abilities to actually make sure that the member is getting the right piece of equipment.
And from experience of working alongside your organisation, you work very closely with the sensory team within the council as well in Sussex.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We actually work as part of. We've got a contract with the East Sussex County Council sensory team. We provide equipment on their behalf. And that's a really important thing. But there's other aspects of that contract as well, which we have, with workers going out and seeing people. We also do the certificates of vision impairment for them as well. So, it's a big area that's covered, but the cross cooperation is really important.
And that's it. And for someone that needs that bit of help with their registration to get their certificate of visual impairment, the pathway, and the fact that you're shortening that pathway so they don't have to go from A to B to C, it's all sort of intertwined and flows nicely. Absolutely. Makes it much easier.
It does make it much easier, and it's one of the important things with that certificate of vision impairment is that they get a call from us immediately. So we introduce ourselves and we introduce the services that we can help with, the areas that we can help with, and it gives them an into all of the things that are available in the area.
And I guess it sets their mind at ease a little bit that organisations like yourself are there to provide help on various levels for them.
It's an interesting thing that people who have a vision impairment don't know that we exist until they have a vision impairment. So it's one of those things that, once you've got a vision impairment, we're difficult to find. And it's only with the help of, sort of like friends and family, or if a consultant actually, says that someone needs to be registered, that we actually then start finding the members coming to us. And that's why I say, although we've got 1,700 members, at the moment, there is the potential for over 6,000. And that's the difficult area, is getting out there and getting your name known to people. Hopefully the name change that we've done will help in that, and people who've got a vision impairment won't feel so shy about coming to us.
So you're always on the lookout and reaching out to new members, and you can then get them involved with the events, etc., that you look to plan as we do start to open up a little more.
Yeah, and in the past we've done a lot of education side of things as well. We've had a lot of contact with the local colleges and schools and that sort of thing, because very often if you can actually speak to the children and the young adults, they've got family members that have got vision impairment, and they will then take that information back home. But it's also students that are doing courses that may bring them in contact with people with a vision impairment. That's once you've actually educated that student as to you're there and what you can do to help, they can then pass that on. And so education is a big part of what we try and do as well.
And it's raising awareness throughout, and like you said, that recommendation then from a family member is it seems a trusted source, and that's it. It's more likely to sort of follow through with regards to getting then in contact with you through one way or the other.
We hope so. It doesn't always work, but at least if people know about us, then they can recommend us to people who may need us, and that's the important thing.
So if someone wanted to become a a member of the society, how would they go about doing that, Steve?
Literally, they can call any member of the family, a friend, they themselves. They can contact us on our helpline number, which is our main office number as well, and that will start the process.
Brilliant. And what we'll do with the outline of this video is we will publish your contact details for the organisation when we post the video out as well, Steve. Okay?
Yeah, that would be brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
And we'll incorporate your new branding as well for the
yeah, wonderful. Yeah, that'll be really helpful.
So the graphic designers will be pleased with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Steve, and I very much look forward to getting down to the new premises in Hailsham once we're safe to do so, once we've opened up a little bit more.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
And you'll get the kettle on for me.
Well.
Lovely. Thank you very much for your time again, Steve. Really nice to catch up with you, and really appreciate you giving your time up, and hopefully get back to your members.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Take care. All the best now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.